Welcome to Etheria Restart. Today's video is focusing on Diting, the one-shot king. But before I dive into any of that, I want to share a code with you, a promo code that's going to get you 10 free pulls. It's called Etheria DC 100K. Pop that into the game right now and get yourself your rewards. We just got it here on our own. I'm here with Hermes as always, and we're going to be breaking down this Animus that really is an amazing SR inside of the game. Welcome back to the channel, brother. Before we get any further, though, I need to thank Etheria Restart for sponsoring the video. And if you guys haven't played and you want 10 additional pulls on top of the code that we just gave you, scan the QR code or use my link in the description to get 10 more pulls for free. Hermes, man, I want to talk about Diting right here and talk about the teams that you've put together to take down bosses like Aurora, Terramatan, and any of the shell bosses inside of the game.
Yeah, man. I have been loving playing with Diting, and it seems like you have as well. You got a max in your account. He has just been honestly, it's been refreshing to have such a crazy good SR to play with. Because I feel like early on, you're playing through everything with Leanne, but she just doesn't get the kind of damage that you're looking for on some of those bigger bosses that really Diting comes in and can just wipe the slate clean on all these different bosses. It makes them look like they're just easy and speed farms them too, which is really important.
Yeah, I do love that. So what are some areas where you particularly love? I know I named a few already, but where do you really like to utilize him before we get into the teams and how we built him out?
I really love using him in shell farming because obviously, you need to farm so many shells to really upgrade them that it's so important to have a really fast shell farming team to really get a lot of damage, a lot of extra speed, a lot of extra stats onto all your different animus. And so I love using him there as well as in all the union bosses. He's really great at getting you to that full 100 out of 100 clears every single day. So that's really another really great place to use him in.
All right, cool. I love to hear it. So well, let's first break down how he's built out. We got a DPS build on him right here. Talk to us about why he's built the way he is, or what people should try and do when they're trying to build him out on their own accounts.
Right. So Dick is really honestly a very interesting character. He's a lot of really good damage scaling potential. So on his passive, it's really good because he has the ability to increase. He marks one of the enemies in the team with the lowest HP. And what he'll do is you'll notice there'll be a green circle, and he increases his crit rate by 60%, and then 150% of the excess crit rate will convert into crit damage. So what you basically want to do is even if you crit cap him, you're able to use that extra crit rate to turn into crit damage. But if you can't get him totally crit capped, just like you have him built on your account, he will still always crit on the enemy with the lowest HP, simply just because he has that additional ability. So it's really, really important to make sure you're building up with a lot of crit rate and a lot of crit damage. And then once you've gotten those two things taken care of, then just pumping as much attack as you can into him.
Yeah, it just sounds like a damage-dealing beast right here. So what do you got here for gear? Like, what did you like to focus on when we were building out together my gear?
Yeah, so the big thing obviously for you is as you're still trying to progress and farm into those Inferno dungeons, you really want to focus on getting that onslaught and harvest. So those ones are really easy to get because you've really been focused with getting that Ramoka. You've been able to focus a lot on Doki Doki farming. And so you've been able to get harvest set. In addition, you've got some pretty decent, I would say, onslaught pieces from the little bit of farming that you've done in Terramatan, especially over this 2x weekend. And so I would say that it's great to get that 12-piece onslaught. And then if you can, get another 6 or even 8-piece set onto him to boost his attack. And in the case of this harvest, give him that extra little bonus on top of that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. By the way, man, as I'm sitting here looking at this is an SR Animus in the game, and it's freaking awesome looking, man. Just his weapon alone with all the animation in it, it's a really great looking Animus. So super fun to play with something that you love the look of.
It's blown me away, honestly, like how good their design has been on all these different Animus. I mean, even the R and SR characters have such great designs. It's really been awesome to see.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, so what do we want to pair him with for teaming?
So obviously, your account, you've kind of got quite a few of the top characters to put him with. I would say the number one to put him with is Lily. her ability to give extra crit damage on that A2, as well as reset his cooldowns on the A3 and give that ally attack on the A1 is just so powerful to put with a Ditting that it just really makes her like top of the line to put with a character like this with all the extra damage boosting and speeding up that she's able to do for him.
Yeah, and I want to also mention we're gonna not only am I gonna share the team that we've been using, because maybe you don't have a Lily, and a lot of people probably don't. We've actually been quite lucky on this account with some of the polls we've had. Those have all been inside of poll videos, and we have another one to come soon as well. But we're also going to be building for you a little bit more realistic for all players that they're able to get. With that said, I think we've only spent about 100 or 125 bucks on this account, so it's not like we've been wailing out on it. It's been pretty low spend when you look at some of the other accounts out there. All right, so we got Lily. Who else we got to add to this?
I would say so. The number one right now debuffer in the game, as far as I can see, and as far as I've been able to use, and I think you would agree, as far as you've used, would be Kloss. Kloss is just so incredible between that defense break, the stealing the turn meter, and the hacking in progress, and the hacked debuffs that she brings. There's just so much potential that she brings, and so much damage amplification that she's just top of the line. She is the one to use that really helps boost that damage.
Yep.
And then the final piece. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, after you.
I was going to say the final piece to this puzzle is really, you want to get that attack up, right? You got the defense break, you've got damage boosting. Now you just need an attack up, but you also want a healer. And Valerian is really going to fill that role. She has honestly one of the best that I've seen so far to go with him. And these four have cleared just about as all the content I think on your account that it really can. Like we've talked about this before, like she is great, and all you have to do to guarantee getting her is you spend $1 in the game, and you get her once you spent that $1. And what she does is on the A3, is that she protects the team and basically gives them like a revive on death mechanic, but then also at the start of their turn will put a random buff. That random buff is always attack up first. So Ditting will always get attack up when his turn starts from Valerian. So then he gets that attack up. After Kloss is gone, put down the defense break, and Lily's boosted his speed and even his crit damage, and then he just goes and he wrecks teams.
I love that, man. I mean, it sounds like a brutal combination, a combination that some people may just not have, because maybe everyone doesn't have all these animus. So what are some of the subs that we would be putting in, and who would be taking place of who? And I'm specifically talking about like a Lily, right? Like everyone wants a Lily on the account, but everyone doesn't have. So who would be a replacement for the ones that you've just mentioned?
So I would say though the first in line for replacements would definitely be Freya, right? So Freya was on the recent rate up banner, so a lot of players I think will have her. Obviously now we've got the Holden and the Hoyen, which we did do a video on as well, but we have them on the rate up banner. But Freya is another really great one to use because of her ability to do attack up. She boosts a little bit of turn meter, and then she provides some defensive stats as well. And so in general, there's a lot of use case for her.
Okay, who else do you have that would be a good fit?
I would say, so to pair with, so I would say the first two to sub out, obviously she would go in place of Lily, and then in place of Valerian, you still want a healer. And since Freya is bringing that turn meter increase and the attack up, I would say that Sonya is a great healer to bring in. Another SR character, does a lot of healing, and even brings in that revive if needed. And so those two would be a great sub in for Lily and Valerian, just to make sure you get that. And then as far as debuffers go, Gray is a great option because he gives the defense break and the crit rate up, which even if Ditting doesn't need that crit rate up, which he shouldn't, that just gets transferred into more crit damage and makes them higher damage. And then as well, Dinah, or Deanna, I don't know how you want to say that. She is another great one, a great damage amplifier, depending on her skill, or I guess who you're going against in the affinity.
Got it. So really everything is focused around just buffing the amount of damage that can be done here by Ditting, and obviously keeping the team alive as well. What are some last couple of things you may want to mention about Ditting and why you've been enjoying him, and why an SR is going to be taking place of some other SSRs as far as damage dealers on teams for you?
Well, I would say, so another really good thing to point out is his shell, right? You want to make sure that all of his shell what is that? Stats are focused on damage, so you want to make sure White Fang is a great option. Another one is count as you get later on and do some more farming. You'll be able to get him gets a really big boost to the attack and really scales up on your attack and really again builds up that Ditting, makes him a lot stronger, hit a lot harder, closer to that one-shot ability, and that all is great. So the shell, I think it's a great focus point to have to make him stronger to then take those shell bosses down even faster.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I'm glad that you took a second to mention that as well. So, looks like we have an SR that could be an insane damage dealer for many other players inside of the game as well. I mean, I'd say it's pretty safe to assume that most players are if they have any luck on their side, they probably have Ditting in their kits, no?
Yeah. I mean, so it depends, right? Like there's some SRs are going to be still hard to get, but Ditting is really going to be one that you're focusing on. You're really hoping you get. So obviously the hope is that you have him. And if you do, get him, max his skills, and put him in some of your best damage gear and just watch him work.
There you go.
I
I
thought
love
it'd be
it.
fun. Let's show him off in a you should show him off in a Nico Nana shell module farming or shell boss farm. Just so people can kind of see how much damage he does and how much work he's able to put in.
Where do you want him to go?
In the shell drops over in the Grim Pursuit.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Nico Nana, I think is a great one, which is what I'm currently farming. I'd recommend that you farm right now. Not on Inferno, but you want to go down to Hell, actually.
Okay, where am I?
Unfortunately,
Oh, did I just
you're
start
on
it up?
Inferno right now.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah, just exit out of the battle.
let's get out of here. All right, here we go. Let's throw this thing in on auto so you guys can see just how it works so quickly and how much damage is dropped. So take us through it, Hermes.
Well, you see there, you had Lily going in boost, then you had the defense break come in, and now you watch. Look at that. Almost completely one-shots the Nico Nana. You got a little bit more farming, I think, on Doki Doki and Terramatan to do, and you'll be one-shotting this boss pretty easily.
That's awesome.
And he's going to come back around and clean it up.
Yeah, and it's nice. It's so quick. Doesn't take long to farm. You just get all the shells that you need, and there he is, showcased. Man, thanks for coming in here today, breaking down this Animus that maybe, hopefully, a lot of people can get into their kits as well. Appreciate you as always, Hermes. And I appreciate Etheria Restart for sponsoring the video. Remember to download the game with my QR code, a link in the description. Get yourself 10 free pulls. And I'll see you guys in the next video.